Hi, this is Cheryl back with you from Farmhouse Frugally, and today I am working with some sweet little peat pots that I purchased last year on Amazon. I got a whole bunch of them, probably like 24 in a pack. They're very, very inexpensive, and I personally use them in my garden, but I decided today that I would decorate a couple. I did a video last year with these, and today I wanted to do something a little different. So I am going to do 5 or 6 different peat pots, and then I'm going to show you some other ideas at the end that you can do these similar things with items that you may have around your house that you can use in place of these if you don't have these. Now, this first one I just cut so that it would have a rounded top on the sides, and then I am just poking some holes with a piece of wire so that I'll be able later to add a little handle to it once it's finished. Then I went through some of the napkins that I have in my stash, and I found a real pretty one, and I took the 2 plies of white off the back, and then just using a paintbrush and some water, I am just going around the beautiful nest on this napkin to give that a more natural edge to it, and I am just going to rip that out, and I am going to decoupage that directly onto the peat pot. Now, in this particular case, you can paint your peat pot white, which I will do in one of the next ones, and that image on the napkin will show up better. If you don't and you keep it the color of the peat pot, you will get a much more moody, dark, more natural colored nest like I'm going to get this time around, just to give you an idea of how that looks with and without the paint. After I got this decoupaged on to this first one, then I'm just keeping this entire peat pot exactly like it comes out of the package. I didn't do anything else to this peat pot, but you are able to do any number of things to these as I'm going to show you. So in this particular one, straight up, just decoupage that right on. And then once I am finished with this one, while this one's drying, I'm moving on to my second one. Now on this second one, I am just going to take some creamy white paint, just an acrylic craft paint that I happen to have hanging around, and I'm just going to go ahead and add just a oval or circle on the front part where I want to decoupage on this, leaving the rest of this pot natural. And then once I have this one set aside to dry, then I am going to take a third one and I am going to cut it the opposite way that I cut the first one. And I am going to take the same paint, and with that brush, I am going to stipple, just pouncing all around this peat pot to give this a more textured, almost stucco feel because the pot has so much texture on it. And then on the fourth one, I am going to actually paint the entire pot fully with the same paint. I'm not going to texture it. I am going to cover every inch of it so that this pot is truly white when it is finished. And I'm going to make sure that I go around the top edge just in case you can see that when I'm finished with this one. And here they are. While they're drying, I am going on to a different napkin that I have in my stash, and I am just going to cut out a little bit of one side of that. Again, I took the other 2 white. I forgot to take the 2 white plies actually on the back of this one. So actually, after I cut the bird out, then I separated the pieces. It's a little easier to do beforehand, especially if you are wetting the edges like I did. If you just cut this out first with scissors, then actually it is easier to separate the plies once you've cut it because you don't have those edges. The corners sometimes have like an embossing to keep them together. Now, this one I am just decoupaging this pretty little blue and yellow and pink napkin that I had with the decoupage medium right on that white part, and you can see how the napkin colors stay so nice and crisp. They're not muted like that first one. And somehow I lost the footage, but on this next one, all I did was go ahead and take some ink and some stamps, and on the white I actually just stamped a few little florals and a butterfly. And then I went back to the first one, which was dry, and just took my little finger sander and sanded the excess napkin off. And then I take the little antiquing wax on a brush and go around and just give some of these some more vintage feel with that ink. And that's just the style that I prefer, but you could also use a color ink. You could also use a highlight in a gray or a white paint, or depending on what it is your style is. It doesn't have to be ink. And then once I had that, I took some little pebbles or glass stones that I had a bag full from the dollar store, and I just put some weight, 5, 6, 8 stones in each one of these peat pots. And then, you know, depending on what look you are going for, you know, you'll go through your items and you'll decide what you want to put in the bottom of these. But I wanted to do a few different things just to give you a couple of different ideas. So in one, I am taking some moss, and in another one, I am taking some of that shredded Easter paper. In another one, I'm using the green moss. So anything that you have hanging around that you'd like to use, there's any number of things you could use this for. And you could add the wire hanger to them. I am just adding a hanger to this one, and then I'm curling it a little bit with the paintbrush, and then just sliding it back up over the top to make sure that that stays secure and can be used kind of like a little pail. I thought that was cute. And then fill them with whatever it is that you'd like to fill them with. I did some moss and some Easter eggs. You could do a little bird. You could do candy. I especially think candy would have been cute on that little pink Easter shredded paper. You could add any like little bunnies or whatever. It depends on what season you're doing this for, but if you're doing it for spring, you can make a floral arrangement. I did that I think it's the last one that I redid a floral arrangement in that, just to give you a couple of different ideas on ways that you could display these. I think they make really sweet gifts. I've given 2 of them away already, and you know, it'd be really cute if you have older grandchildren. Maybe for Easter, rather than do something like an Easter egg hunt, you could do something with something like this, a gift card, anything that you can think of. I have some of this little green ribbon from the dollar store. I put that in a couple of them. And then here is the pink one. I thought that was real sweet with my Valentine display, since it had pink in it. That really came out lovely. And then on this other one, I took my, it's air dry clay by Das, and it happens to be in the terracotta color. So I rolled it out, cut a piece that was just a bit of an oval shape, and then used the stamp that I had stamped when I lost the footage on the front of the peat pot with the little butterfly. I chose to just use that same stamp. It still had some of the black ink on it. Press that down real good, and that way you get a good impression. You can also dry brush over this, if like with a white paint or something, if you want just the impression to be dark and the top to be light. So you can use anything that you have on hand, a cookie cutter or whatever, just to get a piece of clay on there. Then I just glued that with a wood glue right to the front of this peat pot, and then just added something. It was like a little succulent that I had that looked like it was already in a terracotta pot, so I thought that was cute inside that one. And then just to tie that black ink in, I just went around mostly the top and bottom and just distressed this with the black ink pad, and then added a little, I had grabbed this jute twine with a little wooden bead off of something, and it was sitting in front of me, so I just added it to the top of that with a bow to embellish it. And that is what it looks like with the little succulent in it. And then this is one I made last year that I still have with a little bird and some florals in that. And then this one I added some feathers, and since it had a butterfly on it, I cut out a stick-on butterfly that I got from the dollar store on that. And so here it's just a couple of different ideas for peat pots and things that you can use with them for your decor. But I also thought about things that you could use this with in the event that you don't have any peat pots. I went into the stash and looked for some items. So I found some little wood rounds that I know you can get at the dollar store, or they look like a little cut end of a piece of a log. I found some little tin patty pans, and I found an actual terracotta pot that had the cute little terracotta base that's very easy to come by. You can find them at Walmart or Home Depot or what have you. And then I went ahead and I used that to display some of them, just to give you an idea of some other items that you could use. And I really love the little tin patty pans. I tend to get those, well, I've got a bunch of them on the good table at my dump, but I have seen them at little antique stores and consignment shops. So if you have any of those, I thought that one on top of the other upside down was really cute. Here's that terracotta pot, and I just added a little extra of the Spanish moss, but this one here I thought came out really sweet with those little metal pans. And then, you know, I added just a little base onto one of them, and then I went back on one and I turned it into a floral arrangement so that you could see one with flowers in it, kind of like a little May basket for May 1st. That would be another cute idea, or even a Mother's Day item. So have fun with it. Let me know if this is something that you plan to do, and I would love to see pictures. If you ever make anything, you can always put them on my Instagram. Just send me a picture of what you created, and I would love to see those. I think for my home, my favorite one is the one with the nest on top of the little, it's really a drawer pull from a piece of furniture. That really goes with my decor. So I'd love to know what one was your favorite. Thanks so much for stopping by. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.